The biggest data breach in history just got bigger and costlier. In December, Yahoo reported that 1 billion user accounts had been hacked in 2013. The internet pioneer has now revealed that every single one of its 3 billion accounts has been affected. In July, Yahoo was sold to Verizon Communications in a deal worth $4.5 billion. The price was cut by $350 million as more details of the cyber attack emerged. Yahoo says it found out about the wider extent of the breach after obtaining new intelligence when the company was folded into a Verizon subsidiary named Oath. The investigation indicates that passwords and banking information were not stolen. The Yahoo hack is the largest ever by the number of users affected, but another company seems to be worse off. Credit agency Equifax recently reported the personal data of more than 145 million US consumers had been stolen. The information included social security numbers, credit card details, and other personal information such as mothers' maiden names.
The criminal hack happened on my watch, and as CEO, I am ultimately responsible, and I take full responsibility. I'm here today to say to each and every person affected by this breach, I'm truly and deeply sorry for what happened.
The former head of Equifax was grilled at a congressional hearing on Tuesday. His apology is only a small consolation for consumers who may feel they lost control over their own data.
If there's one thing I'd love to see this country think about, is the concept of a Social Security number in this environment being private and secure. I think it's time as a country to think beyond that. What is a better way to identify consumers in our country in a very secure way?
Neither lawmakers nor companies seem to have an answer for now, and in a landscape where big business deals go ahead despite massive data hacks, it seems that at least the corporate world doesn't need one. But data breaches are a blow to companies' reputations and a bigger blow to public confidence. Caitlin McGee, TRT World.
Joining me now from Naples in Italy is Pierluigi Paganini. He is the Chief Technology Officer at cybersecurity company CSE Cybersec Enterprise. Great to have you on Money Talks once again, Pierluigi. Let's talk about Yahoo. Let's talk about what you do first. You work with governments and companies to protect their systems from hackers. Tell us about how these hackers have changed their techniques in recent months and years. Have they become more sophisticated? What are their motives nowadays?
Basically, we have to try to think like hackers. Okay, we have to understand their perspective. So it is essential that we have a clear idea of which is our surface attack, which are the components of our architecture, how we are exposing it. And another factor that is very important is the human one. The human factor is probably the root case of almost every kind of hack. So it's essential to improve the awareness on cyber threats.
Let's talk about the US. Now, we heard the former CEO of Equifax there, the White House, also saying that social security numbers have gone beyond their usefulness now. But what could replace such social security numbers in the US? Biometric data? Is the technology there yet?
Oh, basically, I totally agree. We cannot use any more social security numbers because it's too easy for hackers to find them online. So we have to change technology. We already have in place two-factor authentication systems. So we can use, for example, mobile application or, for example, Google Authenticator. We can use also hardware tokens. And of course, we can also use biometric technology. But the main problem with the biometric technology is that compared with other technology, has a bigger cost of deployments. Anyway, some kind of technologies like, for example, facial recognition is very effective in these moments. So, in fact, some banks are already thinking to adopt it, and some banks, for example, in UK, already adopt this kind of technology to authorize the transaction.
Could some of these alternative forms of data protection, do you think, have protected Equifax?
Basically, patch management. This specific case is the demonstration that of the importance of patch management. Basically, hackers have exploited a vulnerability that was known since March. Okay, and also the security updates were already available. So the missing point in this specific history is that the company hasn't applied the security updates. And you have to consider that is a huge problem and is a very common problem. So that's why I say that patch management is very important for any kind of components, any kind of governments and organization, and also company.
Okay, Pierluigi Paganini, Chief Technology Officer at cybersecurity company CSE CyberSec in Naples. Thank you so much.